All right, let's dive into something a little different today.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're going to be talking about Grenada.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I got a travel guide here that you sent over, and
Mm.
it really has me thinking about booking a flight.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm kind of fascinated by it now that I've been
okay.
looking through it.
Yeah,
We're going to be talking about everything from the geography and climate and history and beaches
of course.
to the food and culture and all kinds of things. And I think this will be a really
Absolutely.
fun deep dive.
I think so too.
But just to get started, there was one little interesting fact in the intro that
Okay.
caught my eye.
Yeah.
Um, Grenada is known as the Island of Spice.
It is.
Did you know that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for good reason.
So what's the reason?
Well, that nickname kind of hints at a pretty fascinating history.
Okay.
Nutmeg,
Uh-huh.
a spice that we all kind of take for granted these days.
Yeah.
Little dash here and there.
Right.
But it used to be worth more than its weight in gold.
Wow.
And Grenada was a major player in that global trade.
I had no idea. I always thought of nutmeg as like
Right.
the thing you put in eggnog.
Exactly.
So,
But there's so much more to it.
okay, tell me more about this Island of Spice.
Sure.
The guide mentions that it's actually an archipelago. Right.
Exactly.
Not just one island.
Right. So Grenada is the largest of the islands.
Okay.
But you also have Carriacou and Petite Martinique,
Okay.
each with their own distinct charm.
Okay.
But what's really interesting to me is that they all have volcanic origins.
Oh, okay.
And that's really shaped everything about them,
Okay.
from the dramatic landscapes to the fertility of the soil.
So like when I think of volcanoes,
Mhm.
I think of like Hawaii or
Oh.
something with the black sand beaches.
Right.
Is that what it's like?
You might find some black sand in certain areas.
Yeah.
But Grenada is actually really known for its variety of beaches. You'll find everything from the classic white sand to even some with a subtle pink hue.
Pink sand beaches.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That I got to see.
Yeah.
Speaking of beaches, though, this guide raves about a beach called Grand Anse.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been there?
I have. Yeah, it's a beautiful beach.
What makes it so special?
Well, I mean, besides the obvious,
The beautiful blue water and the palm trees.
Yeah, the turquoise water and the swaying palm trees.
Yeah.
What really sets Grand Anse apart is the reef system just offshore.
Okay.
So that creates really calm waters,
Okay.
which is perfect for swimming, amazing for snorkeling.
Oh, nice.
Plus, the beach itself is quite long, so you can always find your own little slice of paradise.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, the guide also mentions a few other beaches that pique my interest.
Okay.
Mornay Rouge, Pink Gin.
Yes.
What's the story with this?
Well, Mornay Rouge is a little bit more lively.
Okay.
You'll find beach bars, water sports, a bit more of a social scene there.
Okay, so that's the place to go to party.
If you want to have a little bit more of a party vibe.
Okay.
Pink Gin, on the other hand, is all about secluded charm.
Okay.
It's very quiet, and it gets its name from the delicate pink tint of the sand.
Oh, so that's where the pink sand is.
That's where the pink sand is.
Oh, bye.
Tiny red forams.
What are those?
There's these little marine creatures,
Okay.
and their shells get crushed into the sand,
Interesting.
and it creates that unique pink hue.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much already, and we haven't even
Oh, right.
gotten to the culture yet.
Exactly.
The guide mentions a unique blend of influences.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So Grenada's history is really pretty complex.
Okay.
The indigenous Arawak people were the first inhabitants. And then, of course, you have the period of European colonization.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, the tragic era of the transatlantic slave trade. And all of these layers have really shaped the island's culture.
Okay.
The music, the food, even the way that people celebrate today.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of celebrations, the guide highlights something called Spice Mass.
Oh,
I'm guessing that's their version of Carnival.
It is, and it's a huge deal in Grenada.
Okay.
They don't just call it Spice Mass for nothing.
Right.
It's really a vibrant explosion of music, dance, costumes.
Okay.
And there's also an element of historical significance kind of woven into it, particularly in the Jouvert celebrations.
Jouvert.
Hmm.
I've heard that name, but I don't remember what it is.
So Jouvert is actually a pre-dawn celebration
Okay.
that takes place before the main carnival parades.
Okay.
And it's all about freedom,
Right.
rebellion.
Right.
Participants cover themselves in mud, paint, even chocolate.
Really?
Yes, symbolizing kind of a shedding of the past,
Wow.
a celebration of emancipation.
Okay.
It's quite a sight to behold.
Mud, paint, and chocolate. Wow.
and the energy is palpable.
Okay, that sounds like an experience you wouldn't find just
Oh,
anywhere.
no.
But this guide's making Grenada sound like more than just beaches and parties.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole adventure side to it too, right?
Absolutely.
Like what kind of adventures?
Well, you've got hiking trails, waterfalls, even a volcanic crater lake.
The Crater Lake.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's amazing.
Okay, this is starting to sound like an adventurer's paradise.
It is.
Yeah.
It truly is an adventurer's paradise.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of those
Sounds good.
adventures.
Yeah,
Stay with us. So you mentioned a Crater Lake.
I did.
That sounds pretty epic.
Oh, it is.
Um,
And you hit the nail on the head. It's in the Grand Etang National Park,
okay.
which is a haven for nature lovers.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, imagine like hiking through lush rainforest, surrounded by towering trees
Mhm.
and the sounds of exotic birds.
Okay, now that's the kind of soundtrack I can get behind.
Right.
What else can you tell me about this national park?
Well, the lake itself is said to be bottomless.
Really?
Yeah, it's shrouded in a lot of local legend and folklore.
Wow. Okay.
But beyond that, it's a real hotspot for biodiversity.
Okay.
You might see Mona monkeys
Okay.
swinging through the trees, or like colorful iguanas basking in the sun.
Yeah.
And bird watchers, they come from all over
Oh, wow.
to catch glimpses of rare species like the Grenada dove,
Okay.
which is actually their national bird.
I did not know that a
Yeah.
bottomless lake and a rare dove.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm adding this to my must-see list.
You should.
The guide mentions other activities too, though.
Oh, yeah, tons.
What about water sports besides snorkeling?
Oh, there's plenty to keep you busy.
Okay.
You could go kayaking along the coastline,
Okay.
explore hidden coves and mangroves,
Mhm.
or you can go on sailing excursions.
Okay.
Island hop, experience that true Caribbean freedom.
Yeah.
And for those who want to delve a little deeper,
Yeah.
there's always scuba diving
Oh, fun.
with shipwrecks and vibrant coral reefs to discover.
You know, when you mentioned shipwrecks,
Mm-hmm.
it reminded me of something else in the guide.
Okay.
It talked about how Grenada's history is kind of intertwined with
Right.
spice trade routes and naval battles.
Of course. Yeah.
It's fascinating how those remnants of the past are still present, like under the waves.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that there are layers upon layers to explore in Grenada,
Wow.
from the depths of the ocean to the peaks of its volcanic mountains.
Okay, speaking of mountains, you had me at
Yeah.
hiking trails and waterfalls.
Oh, yeah. What's not to love?
What are some of the standout trails I should look for?
Well, there's Mount Kwakwa.
Okay.
The highest peak on Grenada
Okay.
offers panoramic views of the island.
Nice.
And for something a bit more mystical,
Okay.
there's the Seven Sisters Falls hike,
Okay.
leading to a series of cascading waterfalls
Oh, wow.
that locals believe have healing powers.
Hiking to waterfalls with healing powers. This is like something out of a
I never.
travel magazine.
It's pretty magical.
But I imagine those trails can be pretty challenging.
Yeah. You want to be prepared.
Yeah.
The terrain can be quite steep.
Okay.
And the rainforest climate is, well, tropical. So pack plenty of water.
Okay.
Wear appropriate footwear.
Mhm.
Maybe even hire a local guide
Okay.
for the best experience.
That's good advice. And that makes me think about some of the practical matters, like
Yeah.
getting around.
Yeah.
The guide mentions transportation options like buses, taxis, and rental cars.
Mm-hmm.
What are the pros and cons of each?
Well, buses are a great way to experience local life,
Okay.
and they're definitely the most budget-friendly,
Okay.
but they do run on island time,
So-
so patience is key.
Patience is key. Okay.
Taxis are more convenient,
Okay.
but just make sure to agree on the fare before you set off.
All right. Good tip.
Yeah.
And what about rental cars?
Rental cars definitely give you freedom,
Yeah.
but driving in Grenada can be an adventure in itself.
Oh, how so?
Well, the roads are often narrow and winding,
Okay.
and they drive on the left side of the road there,
Oh, right.
which can take some getting used to.
Okay.
But if you're comfortable with that, it's a fantastic way to see those hidden gems.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. Maybe I'll stick to buses and taxis for my
Yeah, for a first trip, maybe.
next trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the food.
Oh, yes, the food.
The reason Grenada earned that Island of Spice nickname,
Exactly.
what's the food scene like?
Get ready for a flavor explosion.
Okay.
Grenadian cuisine is a delicious blend of African, Caribbean, and European influences,
Okay.
with a heavy emphasis on fresh seafood,
Mm-hmm.
tropical fruits,
Yeah.
and of course, spices.
Okay. Give me some must-try dishes.
All right, so the guide mentioned oil down.
Yeah. It sounded really interesting.
That is the national dish of Grenada,
Okay.
and it's a true culinary adventure.
Okay.
It's a hearty stew Okay.
breadfruit, salted meat, callaloo.
Callaloo? What is that?
It's a leafy green vegetable,
Okay.
dumplings, and then a medley of spices all cooked in coconut milk
Okay.
until it's rich and flavorful.
I can practically smell it just from you
It's so good.
describing it.
Yeah.
And callaloo, is that similar to like spinach?
It's in the same family,
Okay.
but it has its own very unique flavor.
Okay.
And it's often cooked with coconut milk and spices, makes it incredibly versatile.
Okay.
And speaking of versatile, you can't miss out on roti.
Roti tea?
Yeah, those delicious flatbreads
Huh?
that can be filled with curried meats, vegetables, seafood, really whatever you want.
Okay, this is making me hungry.
I know, right?
I'm also curious about like the dining experience.
Mhm.
Are there fine dining restaurants or is it more about like,
Yeah, you'll find a mix of both.
okay.
There are upscale restaurants, innovative chefs putting a modern twist on traditional dishes.
Okay.
But honestly, some of the best food is found at those local markets.
And street food stalls?
Like what?
You gotta try doubles.
Doubles, okay.
Little fried pockets of dough filled with curried chickpeas.
Oh, okay.
They're a Grenadian staple.
Doubles. Okay, I'm writing that down.
Put that on the list.
Now, the guide also mentioned something about respecting local customs.
Right.
Any tips for ensuring a culturally sensitive trip?
Well, Grenadians are incredibly friendly and welcoming.
Okay.
But a few simple gestures go a long way.
Okay.
Dress modestly
Quick.
when venturing into towns or villages.
Mm-hmm.
And a simple good morning or good afternoon goes a long way too.
Okay.
It shows respect.
Yeah.
And also remember, island life is a little more relaxed.
Right.
So just embrace the slower pace.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to strike up conversations with the locals.
Yeah.
They've got amazing stories to share.
I love that advice.
Yeah.
It's all about like connecting with the
That's-
people and the place.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Yeah. And remember, Grenada has a rich history.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, take some time to learn about the island's past, visit some historical sites like Fort George,
Okay.
and appreciate the resilience of the people.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
You've given me so much to think about.
Yeah.
I'm already picturing myself exploring spice plantations, hiking to waterfalls, savoring those delicious flavors.
I know, it's so good.
But before we wrap up, is there anything else that really stood out to you from the guide? Any hidden gems or unexpected insights?
Well, one thing that I found really interesting was how the guide emphasized the connection between Grenada's natural beauty and its history.
Oh, okay.
You know, you have these stunning landscapes,
Yeah.
but they're also intertwined with tales of pirates,
Right.
plantations, revolutions. You know,
Yeah.
it really adds a whole other dimension to the experience.
It's like every corner of the island has a story to tell.
It really does.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
From those legendary spice plantations and diverse beaches.
To the cultural celebrations and thrilling adventures.
I know, it's got it all.
This travel guide has definitely painted a vivid picture of Grenada.
It has. It's a beautiful place.
So for you listening, here's the takeaway. If you're looking for a destination that combines natural beauty,
Yep.
rich history, vibrant culture, and a touch of adventure,
It's the place to be.
Grenada might just be your perfect match.
It might be.
Imagine yourself waking up to the scent of spices,
Oh, yeah.
hiking to hidden waterfalls,
Oh, beautiful.
diving into crystal clear waters, and then ending your day with a delicious plate of oil down under a star-filled sky.
There's nothing better.
It's a sensory feast, just thinking about it.
It is.
But ultimately, the best way to experience Grenada is to go there
Mm-hmm.
and create your own adventure.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe you'll discover something that wasn't even in the guidebook.
Right.
A hidden gem that becomes your own personal treasure.
That's the magic of travel, isn't it?
It is.
The unexpected discoveries, the connections you make, the stories you bring home.
It's all part of the journey.
So what are you waiting for?
Go book that flight.
Start planning your Grenadian adventure today.
Yeah.
And if you need any more inspiration,
We'll be here.
we'll be here with another deep dive ready to take you on a journey of discovery.
Always.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Grenada.
Of course.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep those adventurous spirits alive. You know what else I thought was interesting? The way the guide emphasized the connection between Grenada's natural beauty and its history.
Yeah.
Like, you have those incredible landscapes,
Yeah.
but they're also like
Right.
all tied up with these stories of pirates and plantations and
Yeah.
revolutions.
Exactly.
It's like it adds this whole other dimension to the whole experience.
Yeah, like you can be hiking through a rainforest
Yeah.
and you might stumble across the ruins of like an old sugar mill
Right.
and suddenly,
Yeah.
you're transported back in time.
Mm.
Those layers of history are really what give Grenada its depth
Right.
and character.
Yeah, it's like every corner of the island has a story to tell.
It really does.
Well, I think we've covered a lot
I think
on
so.
this deep dive.
Yeah.
From spice plantations and all those amazing beaches to the cultural celebrations and the adventures.
Yeah.
It's got it all.
It does.
This guide really painted a vivid picture.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, here's the takeaway.
Okay.
If you're looking for a destination that combines natural beauty, rich history, vibrant culture,
Mm.
and a touch of adventure,
Grenada's the place.
Grenada might just be the place for you.
It might be.
Imagine yourself waking up to the scent of spices,
Oh, I love that.
hiking to hidden waterfall,
Oh, beautiful.
diving into that crystal clear water,
Mm.
and then just ending your day with a plate of oil down under the stars.
Doesn't get much better than that.
It's a sensory feast just thinking about it.
It is.
But ultimately, the best way to experience Grenada is to go there.
Absolutely.
Create your own adventure.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll discover something that wasn't even in the guidebook.
Right.
Your own little hidden gem,
Yeah.
a personal treasure.
That's the magic of travel.
It is.
It's the unexpected discoveries and the connections that you make
Yeah,
and the stories you bring home.
that's what it's all about.
So what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Start planning your trip today.
Get out there.
And if you need any more inspiration,
We'll be here.
we'll be here with another deep dive,
Always.
ready to take you on another journey.
Another adventure.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Grenada.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep those adventurous spirits alive.